Do you want to start a business, get out of the office, achieve happiness and success while crushing life? This is Boss to Boss, the place to be for that extra motivation to get up and follow your dreams while learning from the ones who have already done it. And now for your host, Miro Steve.
Welcome to Boss to Boss. Today's guest.
I don't know if it's a guest, but
It's not a guest, but
what's episode?
It is Steve Wiley here with Miro Steve. We are live. Episode.
That's what I was thinking of. I think it's what
58.
Yeah.
R&R rants and recaps. Let's get it.
Yep. It's Halloween. We just did a little live stream before.
Yeah, it's the Halloween Hump Day special.
Halloween Hump Day special.
No, it's the Hump Day Halloween Live.
Yeah, that's the
There
one.
we go.
Well, this is the actual show, but
This is the actual show. If you are tuning into the podcast or on YouTube, it's the actual show.
Yeah, it'll be on.
Not that the live is not the actual show.
Yeah, well, it's cool. Yeah, we just had the live. Check it out. We were talking about some cool stuff on there.
Some crazy topics as always.
Halloween, obviously, talking about costumes and how things have changed.
Halloween and reading comprehension.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
School.
yes.
Some good topics.
Yeah, it was some good stuff about school actually, and how important school is in this day and age.
Yeah.
Whether or not you would still go back to school, or if you went back, how differently would you have done it?
Yeah, one thing that you brought up though that was kind of interesting was we were talking about how when people are kind of like outraged about costumes nowadays, how that translates to the workplace, and
whether or not you can dress up at the workplace.
Well,
for
not
Halloween,
even. I think it's even deeper than that. Besides just dressing up, I think just how people view costumes and how people are like offended by certain costumes and how that's different. But like going into the workplace and what's acceptable in the workplace, not just Halloween costumes, but just like in general day-to-day stuff, the way you carry yourself, the conversations that you have, the things that you say to customers, all that stuff. I think that's a really important, it's an interesting thing to think about. We were just saying like in the live thing that, the school sent home a thing, about the costumes where you can't have any blood. You can't put makeup on your face if it covers your whole face. You can't wear masks.
No clown costumes.
And the big thing was like no clowns because it might upset people.
It seems like the list pretty much, whether it's costumes or school related or workplace related, it's only growing.
It just gets longer.
The list is getting longer year by year, day by day. It's not getting shorter. It's just more and more regulations, or more, not necessarily regulations, but more and more things you cannot do.
Yeah.
More and more things that there's a big if now. There's big possible lawsuit.
Absolutely.
There's a possible someone getting offended.
And the reason that I thought that was really interesting is because it ties to business the same way. If people are afraid to kind of think outside the box and do things because they feel like maybe they'll piss off a segment of their base, or maybe they'll shut themselves off of a certain clientele and things like that. What ends up happening is you start putting yourself in a smaller and smaller box, and then like what we were talking about earlier when we were kind of thinking of things to say on the show.
We're talking about what can we say, what can't we say.
We're
still going to say whatever we want to an extent. But obviously, if this show was recorded 20 years ago, it would have been a lot different.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In this day and age.
But like, to even segue a little further about what you were talking about as far as like presenting your ideas when you start out, and like, so you were talking about being scared to tell people your ideas.
Yes.
You want to kind of lay that out a little bit?
That is a big topic that I've been dealing with lately. It was going to be the main topic I was going to talk about in this rant.
Yeah.
And it is to do with trust.
Very
and
important.
specifically trust in the workplace, and when you have something that's your own, like you're not just working for another company anymore.
Like a business idea or a product or a service that you want to lay out, outline.
Yeah, it's not something that's out there that's known,
Trade
that's
secrets.
in the public. It's more of a trade secret, more of it's your idea, it's your baby, and for me, and that's hodgepodge.
Yeah.
And there's things that we do different, things that make us who we are. Though you get to a point where you want to expand, you want to grow. You don't want to just be, a couple of you, and you're not doing bad because you're growing, but you're not at the point where you can support numerous people. You can fully support yourself and your loved ones and get insurance, for example. And you want to be able to do these things. And with that, you have to bring in other people into the circle. You have to expand your team. You have to find the right sources of capital. And you got to grow. In order to grow, you have to bring in more people and share more info. And they need to be sold on you. They need to know why they should invest in you, why they should be part of your team and not the millions of other teams out there that are available.
Give us an example of kind of what you mean.
Right now, I am pitching my business, my ideas to a lot of people, to a lot of potential teammates, a lot of people that want to come on board to Hodgepodge, people that might, who knows, invest possibly. Mm-hmm. And with that comes a lot of...
pulling back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah. These people want to know things. They want numbers. Mm-hmm. If they're going to commit their time, if they're going to go full time, if they're going to put their own money in us over somebody else, over the markets, over anybody, over the banks, they need to know why. So you get to the point where you're like, oh man, how much of this do I want to divulge? How comfortable am I talking about these things?
Yeah.
How much of this is public? How much can they find out? How much do they really not need to know?
Right.
There's always going to be things that people don't need to know. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was a little hard at first because I was like, this is my baby.
They're going to take it and run with it and do it themselves. Why would they invest in me if I tell them all my secrets? Yeah.
And then but I got to a point now, I'm slowly getting more comfortable. I'm not there yet. Mm-hmm. I'm getting more to a point where like, yes, what we do is different. But that different doesn't necessarily, it's not something that's on the outside. It's more on the inside. It's more about the people in the business, more about the everyday to day things that happen on the inside, the foundation that we've built through our human capital, the faces of the company. And those you can't replicate.
Yeah.
Everybody's their own individual. You'll never replicate the people we have here no matter what.
Yeah.
You can replicate a business.
Basically.
You can replicate a product. iPhones are replicated everywhere. Mm-hmm. You can replicate a company identically. Mm-hmm. But you're still going to choose one company over the other because of everything else, because of the intangibles. Because of
the people.
The people. Correct.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to realize, and it's becoming more normal to me as I'm pitching my idea. These things are okay. It's fine if people find out about them and know how we do certain things, because I'm sure other companies do similar things as well. And, I could easily go find out about them. I could go call them posing as a customer and find out all about their trade secrets to an extent.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a practice. It's widespread nowadays.
Yeah.
I wish I did more of it in the beginning.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I, like we were talking about outside when we were thinking about this. I mean, like, I think that happens to a lot of people. And I think it's a good place to start where you feel like what it means, I think, is that you're so passionate about your idea that you don't want, like you want to protect it. And what I was saying to you before is like when I first started out, we were doing something a little different besides just web design, but we had a product that we were so like, we're like, this is the thing. This is the one,
This is it.
So we were we were
afraid.
We were afraid to tell anybody about this thing. We were afraid to even send like emails about it because we thought Google, like we were like getting all crazy about it. And
they're listening.
Yeah,
to
like
me.
they're listening.
To my phone.
If they get this idea,
which is crazy because. There's nothing crazier than talking about something and then later getting an ad about it in your newsfeed.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot. Well, they obviously do they do. It's in the terms of service that they read your emails. But that aside, what I was getting
they listen to your phone too.
They do everything. Yeah, they're in here right now.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
they're watching you.
It was something that you have to overcome. Where like if you're always afraid to tell people about your thing, then nobody will ever find out about it, and you don't have a business. It's part of selling anything or getting any customers is you have to be able to tell everybody. You want to get on the mountain and yell it to everybody, and it's kind of like the transformation from like kind of figuring out to actually implementing it. And I think that a lot of people go through that same thing. So it is important though. But
it's almost a growth stage step.
It is
when you realize
yeah.
that you have to be comfortable talking about these things. And I this is something I want to like share a story. I was talking with someone and they talked about how this whole time they're like somebody that I was trying to bring onto my team, like an investor / sales and things like that. And they're like, the reason I ask you all these things is not because I, care so much about what you guys do and how you do it.
They want to hear you tell it.
They want to hear how you're going to answer these questions, and they want to see if face to face can you handle the pressure,
right,
and how fully behind this business you are. Because the person, quote unquote, is talking about if they're going to be out there, they're going to be pitching this business, this company.
They need to know you believe in it as much as they would have to.
They were talking about their reputation is on the line as well. If they're going to invest in all this, they want to make sure you're fully behind it at all times. So they need to hear it from you. They want to know how you're going to say this, how you're going to handle this situation, that situation. And hearing that really opened up my mind because I'm like, wow.
So true, yeah.
Yeah, I indirectly, I was doing the same thing with other companies I worked for one day.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the CEO, the presidents, whatever it was. I wanted to hear the management. I wanted to hear them talk.
You got to hear the passion.
I needed to hear the passion. Yes.
It's like with even working in like sales companies and stuff. You have like, somebody telling you how to sell, but you've never seen them sell anything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Or you got those weekly motivational calls that you got to sit there, and it's just like a random outsider that comes in, and he gets you all pumped up.
But it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah.
But you can tell the difference when it is. And that's the thing.
Someone's real and someone's not.
Full of shit about it.
It's like full of shit, Steve.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm full of shit, Steve. Apparently, I guess. According to the live stream,
you set yourself up for that one.
I set a trap in the live stream, guys. You got to listen to that one.
If you heard the Facebook Live, you'll know.
I asked if we were just full of shit and let us know. But I think that
you were talking about yourself, though. Let's be honest.
Oh, sure, yeah. Right. But no, I mean, hey, and that's the thing. Like, sometimes you like. And the reason I brought that up is like sometimes you're so dead set on your own opinions that maybe you are full of shit. But even if you're really passionate about it, like if you're really passionate about something and it's just bullshit, like sometimes you don't know. Sometimes
you have to hear yourself say it out loud.
You have to hear yourself say it out loud. Yeah.
And someone call you out on it, and they're like, "Wait, can you explain that? Can you go into that?"
Right.
And it's like teaching someone. You know how they say you don't truly learn something until you can teach it.
Right.
Essentially, you're teaching your business, you're teaching your ways, and that way you're getting better in these ways. You're reiterating how important these ways are to you.
Yeah,
in a sense,
it's really important to be able to step outside of your own head and hear it as like a passerby.
And it helps you clear up your ideas too.
Oh yeah,
because
speaking them out.
Me hearing some of these things, I'm like, wait, what the hell? Like, I can't believe I used to even like talk about this back in the day. That part of the business doesn't even matter anymore. Like, this is what it's really about.
Sometimes, and it's funny you say that, actually, when I have like certain projects that I'm doing, like, coming up with like ideas and campaigns and things like that, sometimes I'll pay somebody just to have a conversation about it.
Seriously?
Yeah. So I'll pay people to be somebody that actually just I present it or I talk about it, and just I'll literally pay somebody to just have a conversation about one topic, and that's their job.
So you heard it here, folks, on the Boss to Boss podcast. Steve pays to get friends to listen to his ideas.
Yeah.
Steve pays for friends, long story short.
Right, yeah, I pay for friends. But
whoa, yeah. That's good. I didn't ever think of that. Yeah. I know there's like groups out there where you can go and talk to people and practice your speeches and things. But how much does someone like that go for? Like,
well, it depends. It depends on what it is. Sometimes it's just like, it's just an extra whatever. I mean, I'm not going to do numbers, but it's just whatever. Like,
it's just paying for someone an hour of their time to listen out and get feedback.
Hey, let's walk this through. Like, I'll give you whatever or this and that. And it's cool to have like a few of those different people that, I guess the reason that it makes sense talking to somebody like that like you're paying to do it because they might have a specialty in a certain aspect of what you're trying to accomplish, as opposed to just like telling somebody that like because
You
people
give us
don't
an
know.
example of
So for
how
instance-
you use someone being in in your field.
So for instance, like I have people that are writers. I'll have people that are graphic designers. I'll have people that are developers, and I'll have people that are like paid advertisers.
For those that don't know, if you haven't heard enough of Steve yet, he does own marketing, web development company. So that's kind of
Yeah. So we
the
do like
background
web
is
design. We do like marketing campaigns and like strategy and coming up with branding and stuff like that for people. So like a lot of times, like if for instance we're trying to write like a sales copy or like writing a blog type of thing, or we're trying to come up with some sort of like promotional material for something, yeah. So like I'll take sometimes it's valuable to have the person that just knows fucking nothing about any of the subject at all, but then
I could see that,
you know what I mean? So to just like literally just be like, shit about any of this, like thank God, like I need that.
how does this sound?
Yeah, how does this sound
Would
to
you
as
buy
somebody
this?
off the street,
Yes.
And like if you don't get that real feedback, it's just like what we were talking about before. People are in an echo chamber a lot of times. So if you're constantly talking to people that are in your field, they're going to give you tips about your field. They're not going to give you like, okay, my name's, Dorothy Rosenthal, and I heard this on fucking, the TV. How is this going to sound? How does this sound?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel? And what you get from that is you get, that insight from a perspective that you just had fucking no idea that somebody could even take it that way. Maybe somebody will be like, it was confusing, or I don't know if I like that, or whatever. And then automatically your response is to kind of get pissed, be like, what are you, stupid? But you can't, because that's the point of what you're doing. Like you have to understand the perspective of somebody that knows nothing.
Yeah,
and
that's one way to
and
look
that's
at
a
it.
really helpful.
And I think that's a positive of social media. Aside from the negatives you're talking about in the live, that's a positive. That's where you can get the different perspectives very easily and find those individuals. It's just all out there for the taking.
At the same time, though, what I find is a lot of times you'll get criticism from people
that don't know anything.
Well, it's not even if they don't know
it.
nothing. It's like you'll get criticism. You'll get criticism from people just because they want to give you some feedback. Like, so if you're asking people for feedback, they'll find criticism that might not necessarily be real world shit. And if you listen to everybody that gives you criticism and you're constantly doing it, you'll never develop something that actually goes to market. You know what I mean? Like you'll always.
There's people out there that listen to our criticism, but they listen to it just to hear it.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are actually good at tuning it out.
Yeah.
They just usually do it to prove them wrong and will reply or something like that. But they're not going to take it to heart and change everything because of one person.
It's a spectrum.
Depends how you are.
It's a spectrum, yeah. But
I think
it's
whatever
hard.
depends what kind of personality you have.
And it depends on how much experience you have and how long you've been doing it.
That too.
Because like when
you're
start
a newbie,
Yeah.
you're bashing everybody based on promises you're making.
Yeah.
Like that you're going to be a 7-figure earner, and I'm over here going to tell you how to make. I know you're a 2-figure earner, and you're telling people how to make 7-8 figures.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
entrepreneurism, baby.
Everybody wants to tell you,
Is it a fad?
Their
Is it
way.
not?
I mean, like we were talking about before, like when we were having these conversations, we were talking about, like kind of preachy and things like that, and I want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
100%. It's easy to get caught up in that when we're kind of thinking about like, what do we want to talk about? The first thing that comes to mind is just talk about things And,
yes.
And so like that's cool, but I think there's enough of that out there. Like I think that like ideas and just like what we're doing right now is a little bit more valuable to people. Kind of thinking putting the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and kind of walk a couple steps in their shoes and like just hear that somebody else is going through something similar, or maybe just has a thought that maybe you just haven't had the courage to ask.
Yeah, because you can literally go on your Facebook account right now and flip down your feed, and you're gonna see 1,000, 5, 6, 10 people showing you. You're gonna make $1 million this way. You're gonna crush sales and do this way. You're gonna own a boat this way. You're gonna own this car this way. And it's just like yes. Like
yeah.
Oh man, I purposely like tune all that stuff out. That stuff I see and it comes and goes.
Well,
in
it's
one
like
ear,
selling
out the
dreams,
other.
man. You know, like people make a business out of selling dreams. And you know that's dangerous sometimes because you know when you're getting sold somebody else's dream, you're not really in it. It's something that's manufactured. It's not good. So like, you know, I mean, some people just are bad at some of the things that they get into, and they're just sold that they can do it. And like, yeah, oh yeah, positive thoughts will get me through it. You know, like
I'm thinking like one thing that comes to mind is network marketing.
oh, that's all bullshit.
That's one thing that comes to mind for me, and that's that you get into this mentality that like this is it. You know, like you're running your own business here. You can make anything happen. I just have had some bad experiences and have seen some crazy things. And
well, a lot of it's just bullshit, and the only person that's getting rich is the person at the top. It's basically just a pyramid scheme.
It is a pyramid scheme.
So like, you know, I mean, that shit's illegal for a reason. You know, it's just like why people join cults. You know, people join cults because, you know, they want to believe in something outside of themselves, that somebody has the answer.
Yep.
You know, and that's a cult. A pyramid scheme is just a business cult. And, you know,
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially,
And
initially I believed in them. I'm like, man, this is so great
Right.
because the way you get approached, the way you're sold on these ideas. I mean, it's beautiful.
the charisma of the pitch.
They make it so it's been reworked so many times.
It's a business in a box.
Oh,
it's as simple as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know, all you got to do is buy this, and
All you gotta do is buy this,
yeah,
and then
just buy this from this guy.
None of the numbers work, and there's nobody else to ever hear from again.
Yeah,
and,
it's ridiculous.
And that's it. You get to try out this amazing product. It's gonna change your life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you? Yeah. So trust has definitely been something that I've worked on. I like to think people are good until I get burned. At the same
give
time,
people
you
a chance,
have to give people a chance. There are a lot of people. There are good people out there.
People
but
have
at the
good
same time,
intentions a lot of times.
you have to be objective about it.
Right.
You can't just go in there with your head down and just be like, "Yes, master, I will listen to you. Tell me what you want. We'll give it all to you." No, you got to be very objective about it and be open-minded at all times. But until someone proves you wrong, and until you have other reasons to think otherwise.
And at the same time, though, I think that it's really important. You have to learn these lessons on your own. I think.
Yeah.
Like I did. Like I didn't.
I'm
I didn't
learning
want to
them
hear
right now.
it from anybody. You know.
And I've gotten burned. I have gotten burned.
You
and
got
I'm
to get
sure,
burned a couple times.
I'm sure I still might here and there. And you know what?
It's inevitable.
Yeah. We're at the end of the day, we're growing. We're doing the right thing. I know what I'm doing. I feel great about, and I know I'm doing the right thing, and I'm learning from it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I know I know the positives out of this are gonna be much better.
Well, I think even more like deeper is just like that you're not going to give up whatever happens.
Yeah.
And that's I think a really important thing. You're just in it. You're
I
in
know
it until
you're
the
in
end.
it.
That's
We're
it.
in it.
So yeah, I mean, if you have that conviction, I think that you're pretty good to go. But yeah, I mean, it's inevitable to kind of fall into some schemes and make some missteps, and those are all learning experiences.
And if you haven't ever, I mean, I'm curious to hear what have you done your whole life that you've had everything perfect?
Yeah,
you haven't ever done one thing that you obviously got tricked or schemed or something.
Well, yeah.
Whether it was giving money to someone that walked straight into a bar or invested in something that was flat out.
But if you don't, you get the biggest gems come from the highest pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. So I mean, the idea behind it is if you don't take those risks, sometimes you're going to get burned. Sometimes you'll hit it, and
it depends. It depends what you want, right? Depends what you want in life, and if you don't feel comfortable trusting others and exposing yourself and your ideas, then you're probably going to stay pretty stagnant. I mean, there are exceptions, obviously, in the world. Sure. There are exceptions.
Some people just hit it on the first strike.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
But
so how big you want it and how much you want it, that's how much kind of you're going to have to put yourself out there and just be you.
Yeah, you got to put your ideas out there. You got to put yourself out there. Yeah, like you were talking about. Don't keep yourself, don't keep your stuff hushed up. Don't be afraid to spread the word. If somebody fucks you over and takes your idea, if you believe in it,
fuck them over.
Yeah,
take their idea.
Fuck them over by just doing it better than them. And I think that's the answer.
We always got to keep our heads up.
Yeah, just do the best you can.
There's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way. We're talking about our experiences here.
Exactly.
And this is something I've dealt with a lot lately, especially as we're trying to, as Hodgepodge is in the growth stages, and we're really looking to expand going forward. It's just something that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And
how's it going?
And no, it's been great. We're looking to double, triple by spring, by summer, and we're kind of prepared. With that comes a lot of preparation and a lot of behind-the-scenes work, a lot of getting out there in front of the right people and getting the right structures and getting things more standardized, where I'm not there involved 24/7 with every little decision.
Yeah,
that's just that would drive anybody crazy. And it's just because we have bigger things in mind. We don't want to just kind of stay stagnant where we're at, because we want to make a lot more happen, make a bigger impact on this earth and planet through our repurposing, donating, recycling, and just providing for others.
Well, the big thing that stands out for what you do, it's not just moving and storage, it's donations and charity as well, which is awesome. So
then knowing that part was part of the business is what kept me going through some of the tough times, and what made it so much easier to start and invest so much of my money, pretty much essentially everything I had, into it, knowing that there was going to be a greater benefit and good out of it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what still keeps me going.
I think we've been talking about, when we monetize a little bit more with this, there'll be a certain percentage that'll go back to charity and things like that. So
100%. I mean, we definitely want to do something where, I know we've talked about it. Who knows what route we go? I love what you brought up about possibly starting up something ourselves, or we actually know where it goes.
Yeah.
That
it's always better to handle it yourself, I figure. I mean, giving money to other people to decide where it goes, when you can do it yourself, why not just
it depends.
Yourself?
Depends how much you know them, how much you trust those companies,
sure.
And things like that. We are partners with Hodgepodge. Usually everybody that's part of it are companies that we trust, and
goes
that
back
we've
to
met
trust,
some individuals from the companies, and we know for the most part. I mean, you'll never know 100% with anything.
No.
You just won't.
But yeah,
I mean, it's definitely it's definitely something we're looking to do as things happen and as we progress here with Boss to Boss.
That's right.
Yeah, I can't believe episode 58, right? Our rants and recaps. Things have been going pretty good, man. We got some great interviews lined up. The group is growing slowly. A few interviews, a few reviews coming through here and there.
Yeah, baby steps, I mean, this stuff doesn't happen
progress,
overnight.
Right? Progress over perfection.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. But awesome. Well, this is a good one. You guys check out the live stream as well. It's up on YouTube, or it will be up on YouTube, but it's on Facebook right now. This episode will be going out soon. And
I want to say your new nickname again, but I'll cut it out.
Yeah,
I'm holding myself.
Let's cut it out.
I'm over here like twitching because I want to say it so bad, but it's okay.
I always get a different nickname. Last time it was the leg breaker.
Let's not mention any of those.
That might be offensive.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed another episode of Rants and Recaps on Boss to Boss. We've been live with Steve and Miro. We'll be talking again soon. Crush the rest of your week.
Take it easy.
Peace.
That is all for this episode of Boss to Boss. Your next step is to visit bosstoboss.com, where you will find proven techniques followed by professionals to help you make that next step. Again, that is boss2boss.com. And remember, the time is now.